Hello, my friends. You'll never guess what came in the mail today. Another story from our good friend, Fergusson. Do you remember where he was when we left him last? That's right, he was going to go and collect his business cards from his owl friend Hooter. I can't wait to find out what they look like. Do you think he'd like them? Shall we find out? Okay, let's go. Fergusson could hardly wait to collect his business cards. As soon as he could, he hurried over to Hooter's tree to collect them. And then, with his fastest ever waddle and stump, he made his way to Clifton's house. He arrived at Clifton's front gate, quite puffed. Now, Fergusson, old fella, he mumbled to himself as he tried to catch his breath. Remember who you are now. He stood still, took off his hat, and straightened out his fur. He pulled out one of his business cards and put it into the band on his hat. Oh, you must look very smart, Fergusson. As he put the hat back on his head, he made his way back up the driveway, puffing out his chest. As he arrived at Clifton's front door, he couldn't believe his eyes. Oh, there, right under the rope to the doorbell, was a little wooden box with lettering on it, and it read, "For Bell, ringing wombats only." And Fergusson was delighted. I'd be delighted too, Fergusson. My own bell box, he said. How important. He jumped up onto the box and grabbed a hold of the bell rope and rang it as loudly as he could. Oh, how wonderful. You know, I remember that last time we went to visit Clifton's house, Fergusson got stuck on the rope so badly that Clifton had to lift him off. It seems like something like a little box made this task easier for Fergusson, even though last time it was very difficult. I feel like I've had to do that before too, and it wasn't hard either. I used to always leave my crafts on the floor, because to put them up on the top shelf where they belong, I'd have to get a step out, and I'd still have to go up on my toes, and sometimes it was just too scary, or it wasn't very fun. And so, to make it easier, I moved my craft box to the bottom shelf. I didn't have to get my step stool out at all. Is there something that you find a little bit tricky, or sometimes get stuck on, that maybe we could get a box for, or move to a different shelf? Or maybe even just ask someone for some help instead of getting stuck every time. It's amazing how many of these little things can just make our lives so much more exciting. Do you think Clifton's excited to see that Fergusson did well at ringing the doorbell? Shall we find out? Okay, let's go. Clifton opened the door with a big smile. Oh, I thought it was you, Fergusson. Come on in. Fergusson and Clifton went inside. This is my studio where I do my painting, explained Clifton. If you sit in that chair over there, we'll begin. Ooh! Have you ever had your portrait painted? I think it's so exciting, especially in the beginning. Get to choose a pose and a dress. Oh, Fergusson. Fergusson sat in the chair and took off his hat, turning it around in his lap to make sure that the business card was where Clifton would see it. And he did. And as he saw it, he asked, "What's that in the front of your hat?" asked Clifton. "Do you want it in the portrait?" "Oh," said Fergusson, pretending he'd forgotten it was there. "I'm sorry. It's my business card. I just, picked them up from my friend Hooter this morning." He took it out of his hat and held it out to Clifton. "Fergusson Wombat, Esquire, Ph.D." Clifton read aloud. Then, pausing for a moment, he asked, "What's the E for?" "Extraordinaire," answered Fergusson, as though he had expected Clifton to know. Oh, Fergusson. "I'm an extraordinary wombat, you know." "Oh, of course," said Clifton, smiling, and he put the card in the pocket of his white painting coat. Oh, well, I hope next time we get to hear about how his painting went. How do you think he went? Do you think he's going to have any trouble? Can't wait to hear your thoughts. I'll see you all next time I get a letter. Bye-bye.